Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, a late contender for upset of the year, Bruno Surace knocks out Jaime Munguia in his hometown of Tijuana to produce a stunning upset. Going into this fight, to tell you the truth, I paid this fight no mind. I knew that Munguia was fighting. I saw his opponent in Bruno Surace, unbeaten guy coming out of France. But you look at the record going into this fight, and there was nothing of any substance on the record. No recognisable names across European level. Nothing like that at all. Just been plugging away in France, getting wins mainly on points. I mean, going into this fight, he had 4 knockouts in 27 fights. He went into this fight 25-0 with 2 draws, 4 knockouts. So, there was nothing on paper to suggest that Bruno Surace could make this a competitive fight, let alone an upset, because we've seen Munguia fight these sort of guys in the past, and, he overwhelms them with work rate, punch combinations for bodywork and power. But Bruno had other ideas, man. Bruno had other ideas. And it's funny because I watched this fight just now and, first round I felt Bruno came out and was offering some lateral movement, going side to side. And you could tell what he was trying to do. He was fighting in a way to counter, but he was fighting in a way that suggested he had power. So when I was watching it, I was like, what are you doing? You don't really have that sort of power to pull this sort of game plan off. However, in the first round, Bruno was able to counter Munguia a couple of times with his overhand right. And when he got his technique right, it looked like Bruno had more power than his record suggested. Even when Munguia caught some shots on the gloves, you could hear the thuds of the shots. So that is one thing I noticed in round 1. I think Bruno's power is better than his record indicates, because when he set his feet and when he got his technique down, you could hear the power. And we saw that in the first round. I actually felt Bruno won the first round, picked his shots well. Munguia was kind of guilty of following Bruno around the ring. Munguia had a good little flurry towards the end, but I felt round 1, Bruno came out and boxed quite well, picked for better punches. Round 2 though, Bruno got dropped. He got a little too greedy. He tried to exchange with Munguia. Munguia lands that counter left hook, bang on the chin, drops Bruno heavily. And Bruno does get up, but it was a heavy knockdown. Munguia tries to force the action, tries to smother, tries to swarm Bruno, lands some shots, body and head, but Bruno gets through it, covers up well, maintains a good construct, maintains a good posture, and he gets through it. Now, rounds 3 to rounds 5, Munguia starts to take over, starts to win the rounds at least, but Bruno Surace is still live. He's still live in there. Very often, Munguia, when he gets him against the ropes, is landing that patented overhand right left hook body combination. He would put his shots together. But again, Bruno was covering up pretty well. He was getting caught. He did feel a few shots here and there. But the work rate was with Munguia in these rounds. But Bruno was still trying to counter. And especially, he was trying to counter the body punch combinations of Munguia with his right hand. And sometimes he'd follow up the right hand with the left hook. He actually caught Munguia a couple of times unawares with that shot. To the point to where it looked like it got Munguia's attention on a couple of occasions. Munguia kind of had to reset on a couple of times. But the work rate was with Munguia in rounds 3, 4 and 5. He was landing more shots. And it was in these rounds where I noticed that Bruno's punch technique consistency is not consistent. So there were times where he was throwing the right hand and it just had awful technique. And hence why he's probably got a lack of knockouts, because that technique isn't consistent. But every time he actually held his feet and turned his punches over with decent technique, you could tell those shots were relatively heavy. Not like crazy powerful or anything like that, but more powerful than you would expect somebody to have who's got 4 knockouts in 25 odd fights. So that's another thing I noticed. When Bruno's punch technique is so inconsistent. But regardless, he's giving Munguia a fight. He's giving Munguia a fight. And yeah, he's had a couple of bad moments. He got dropped in round 2, like I said. There was a couple of moments where it kind of looked like he may start to get overwhelmed, but he kind of always got his construct back and stance back and kind of saw out the hard moments. Now going into round 6, Munguia, again, trying to force the action. Doing what he's been doing all fight. Pushing Surace back. When he has him on the ropes, working the body, Bruno is still trying to counter with his right hand. And again, Munguia was winning round 6 until the last minute of the round where the knockout happened. Munguia pushed Bruno back against the ropes, had a little flurry, kind of then backed off, and he was getting set to come in again to land another flurry of punches. And Bruno, straight right, very quick right hand counter, bang on the chin. It drops Munguia heavily. Just about beats the count. At least I thought he beat the count. But anyway, he gets up and he's all over the place. Unsteady legs, fell into the ropes. Referee waves it off, and Bruno Surace pulls out a massive upset. And this goes to show, man. Listen, he went in there with desire, with ambition. Yeah, he was outworked. Yeah, Munguia had a lot more experience, but you could tell the guy was trying in there. And even a guy like Surace, who came into this fight with no power on the record at least, if you approach a fight with the right attitude, man, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So credit to Bruno, man. Good performance. The game plan worked because it was a game plan. For me, it was obvious what he was trying to do. He was trying to counter with that right hand and land one perfect shot. Seemed crazy, considering the lack of knockouts, but he pulled it off. And, yeah, man, I mean, listen, big rebuild job for Munguia. Are they going to go into a rematch? We shall see. But that's a huge setback for Munguia. And a surprising result because, we've seen Munguia take shots from some decent enough punchers like Canelo, and he's always shown a pretty decent chin. Yeah, he's been dropped by Canelo, he has been hurt by Rosado, but he's always shown a decent chin, Munguia. So yeah, this one to me is crazy, a crazy shock. But gotta give credit to Bruno. Pulled it off. What can I say? Great win for him. What does he do next? We shall see. But yeah, Munguia, big rebuild job. Big rebuild job. We shall see what happens next. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy. Peace.